response to this entire situation with the Club Q in Colorado, our hearts obviously go out to the people there, but we wanted to let everybody who might be in the Florida area or in the Tampa Bay area that my brunch bar, show bar in Ybor City is stepping up and doing a fundraiser, and they themselves are donating money to the cause as well to help support the families. We are just in the process of raising money, but we're going to have a special show on December 4th that showcases this, that helps to raise even more money because we want to help those that have lost a life in this situation. And we know that not everybody always has the means to take care of their loved ones once they've passed. So we want to help those families out specifically. So we are reaching out and getting in touch now. But the show will happen on Sunday, December 4th at 2 p.m. in Ybor City at Show Bar. And it'll feature some local entertainers as well as your favorites, me and Esme Russell. And we're really excited about this venture because as somebody who helped on the ground floor and in the front lines of raising money for those who survived calls for the entertainers specifically, because we know what it's like to lose your home and your place of work and not have the ability to work. We want to help those people out as well. So if you guys see this and you know anybody who specifically works, please do reach out and contact me here on Facebook or on Instagram, because we really do want to send our help and our love and our support to help everybody.
Hello, everyone, and welcome to a special episode of Common Courtesy TV. Now, this episode, my co-host and I, Angelique Young and Ivan Alexander, we are missing Alicia Ye tonight. We're going to be reacting to the recent attack this weekend in Colorado Springs. Now, a lone individual wearing body armor and carrying an AR-15 style rifle opened fire in an LGBTQ plus nightclub this Saturday, known as Club Q. He took 5 lives and injured 25 others. He was subdued by Army veteran Major Richard Fierro and another patron, also with the help of a trans woman. I just kind of wanted to show a video of him, Major Fierro, speaking to CNN. He got very emotional. I think we need to see this.
There's 5 people that didn't come home. And this guy, I told him while I was hitting him, I said, I'm going to kill you, man, because you tried to kill my friends. My family was in there.
Okay, so before I ask you guys how you reacted, let me just read the names of the victims, the deceased victims. The first name I have here is Raymond Green Vance, who was the boyfriend of Major Fierro's daughter. We have Kelly Loving, Daniel Aston, Derek Rump, and Ashley Pogue. Now, our hearts generally go out to the victims and their family. Now, let me just start with Angelique. Angelique, how are you reacting to this? Because I know you used to work at Pulse.
Yeah, I'm upset to see that this has happened again. I'm upset that this is becoming more of a normal thing. I'm very upset that we're having to experience this kind of thing. Anybody who experienced the Pulse shooting probably is having some sort of PTSD at this time. I know I am. I know it feels like it was yesterday, and now we have this next one, and it feels like the world is kind of caving in with all the recent decisions being made in the world as far as our lifestyles, right? So to have this in the wake of something the day before the Trans Day of Remembrance, and to have it be so calculated for how well prepared he was, to come in and to have body armor and a helmet and things like that. I'm thankful for the people who stopped it, but it's just upsetting beyond anything else. It truly, just rots my gut. It makes me, turns it. I don't know how else to explain it, but even having to have this conversation today is very daunting.
Ivan.
Well, my first reaction was not again. I mean, unbelievable. We have a similar situation. Luckily, far less victims, but it pisses me off. It's like, why is this happening? And apparently there's copycats. There's a bunch of stupid people out there that figure they want to do this, and it's happening. I don't want to say it's becoming the norm. I don't want to see it become the norm. I don't want to see it to be accepted and people become accustomed to it so that eventually it's just like, oh, another one happened. No big deal. No, that's unacceptable. It's got to stop. And quite frankly, as a registered gun owner, I'm kind of pissed that I cannot take my gun just to protect myself in an establishment, but some lunatic can come in off the street and just shoot the place up. And I'm sitting there with like no protection. So there's a lot of sides to this that need to be looked at, and hopefully we'll bring some light to it so that it does not continue to happen.
Our next question I wanted to ask you guys. Multiple media outlets theorize that these attacks come on the heels of hateful rhetoric from groups like Libs of TikTok and Republican politicians like this one. Take a look.
It's supremacy of gays and lesbians and transvestites.
Where is the equality for women who have been sexually assaulted? Under this legislation, their crisis counselor may be Alexis, who was actually born Alex, and they'll have to talk to him about their assault.
When this happened, she said something on on Twitter, my heart goes out to the families. Okay, do they? Because you don't seem to like LGBTQ plus people at all. So I want to ask you guys, do you think there's a link between rhetoric like this that she spouts and even Marjorie Taylor Greene or Ben Shapiro, Death Santis? Do you think that this rhetoric is a link to these attacks?
Well, I think her last name should be dumbass, first of all, because from what she's saying, does she not realize that at one point in time, all doctors were male? With her, I mean, it's rhetoric, it's bullshit, it's ignorance. And I think, again, there's a lot of sheeple out there who will actually buy into these things and go, oh, yeah, that sounds right. That sounds good. Let's go that route. It's ridiculous. And the other part that really kind of pisses me off, the whole thing about it's hatred. It's blatant hatred. Don't keep pulling the mental card to say these people had mental issues. If they had straight up undeniable freaking hatred, then call it what it was, okay? Cut the mental bullshit and call a spade, because not all these people are crazy at all. If you sit there and plan everything you did that precise to make sure you can kind of get away with it, all of a sudden you have a mental card because you have problems? No, you straight up hated people and you wanted to take them out. It's bullshit.
So you think there was a link between the two?
I don't know so much that there was a link. I just think it was maybe another person that figured he could get away with it, or he could do it and maybe do it better, or whatever the situation was. I'm not going to give him that mental card excuse, though. I think he definitely had hatred. And the fact he's related to a MAGA person, that's a whole other part of the story, too. Yeah, this guy was a nut. And I think he definitely had hatred in his heart and wanted to make a name for himself. And he did, unfortunately.
I think that if there is a link, I think if anything, it fans the flames of righteousness, of self-righteousness within people who feel like they need the attention or they need the ability to be seen or to feel like what they're doing matters. I think that while that might be how we try to inspire people for the good of things, I think in this particular instance, it inspires bad things to happen. I think maybe the wrong person might take this information and use it the way that this person did. I think that they're not telling people to go out and weaponize themselves and to do these things, but they are telling them that the way they feel or the way that they are thinking or the idea that's been planted in their head is a reason
valid
to take action in this way. I think I've done a little bit of reading in between finding out on Sunday morning and now, and Them magazine actually posted an article about this, and there's a quote. I won't read the entire spiel, but there's a quote at the end of it that goes, in the face of death, an Army veteran, a drag queen, and a bar full of queer people teamed up to fight. Even as presumable strangers, their commitment to each other was more powerful than any bullet could ever be. This is a quote from an essay by Samantha Allen in Them magazine. I think that is the key point that we should be taking away from this situation, that in the face of adversity, that our community is still stronger in a moment of immense fear, in a moment of immense danger, in a moment of literal staring death in the face. Our community always comes together at these times and really helps each other. And as long as we are people like that, for every one bad person we have, I know that there's a gay bar full of people willing to do the right thing at any given moment. I think that hearing this rhetoric from people like this woman and lives of TikTok, which is a horrible thing, I think that we have to use these platforms that we have and these opportunities we have to speak out against that, to show people that we are more than what they think of us and that we have more to offer and that we deserve the equality that we scream and shout for, truly, honestly.
Okay, because like I kind of my thing is I can't sit here and ignore what people say when you have a platform, because Martin Luther King got a lot of people to go marching because he was on stage and validating people's feelings of not having civil rights. We saw the same thing happen with President Trump and January 6th. No matter how many people want to deny that he didn't tell them to go over there, he didn't say that in so many words, probably not in public. But for me, I've been reading a lot of things, like something happened in New York this weekend. Someone threw the
guy with the rock.
A rock at one of these bars, and I worked next to that bar. Like, I saw my boss in the video. I saw Richie there, and I'm lucky Richie didn't fuck him up. But I saw
we saw his face in the video too.
I have to say that what we saw with Trump doing all this stuff the last 4 years, and now we're seeing people come on television. What she just said, because she said a lot in that. Because I got that from the Young Turks. She said a lot of hateful shit about constituents that live in her own state. And she's supposed to be representing. See, I can't sit there and say that there can't be a link. There has to be. It's radicalized. This man came there with not only an AR-15, not only another pistol and extra magazines, but he brought body armor, meaning that he was ready to go to war. He's what Captain Fierro said, people experience combat. That's exactly what these people are doing. And it's almost like every mass shooting I've seen is it's not just that, it's white supremacy. Because this shit, the gumption to go in and shoot people because you think you're right, because of their race, who they sleep with, where they come from, it's white supremacy. And I can't sit there and say there's no connection, because he chose that bar in Colorado. I know Colorado's not a big state. He chose it specifically to go in there and do that. And yeah,
the crazy thing about where he went, they only have one gay bar in that entire area that people drive to. They go to that bar because that is literally the only gay bar. The only
gay bar. So I have to sit there and say that he definitely targeted. Like Ivan said, let's not talk about mental health. Let's go call hate for what hate is. If it was like in New York and that happened, maybe you have to prove it. But he went directly there. No. All right. So my next question. No, I think there is a definite link. And that's why people got to start voting for the right people and stay in the politics. I know it's boring, but dead ass, these people are putting laws. There were 300 laws, anti-LGBTQ plus laws, written just in the last couple of years in different states. 300. So, I mean, there's that.
Hey everybody, this is Dave with Tampa Bay Gay. We're here at the Paperback Exchange bookstore in Port Richey. They're a huge supporter of our community. I'm going to check out some books around here while you guys check out the LGBTQ events happening in the Bay Area.
On Tuesday, no hurricanes in the forecast, so game on. We'll see you at Drag Queen Bingo with Alexis Delamere at Quench Lounge, benefiting Josh Bryan and Esme's Big Gay Radio Show. There are prizes, special performances, 50-50 raffle, and so much more, starting at 8 p.m. Happy Thanksgiving this Thursday. You're not alone this holiday. The first annual Found Family Feast starts at 2 p.m. All are welcome on November 24th. November is Trans Awareness Month, and on the 23rd, Metro hosts a trans feminine support group meeting via Zoom at 7 p.m., supporting all stages of transition.
They have a ton of books here. If you can't get here, you can always go to their online store. But before we go, Joni, tell us about your sale this weekend.
Hey everybody, it's Joni with Paperback Exchange Bookstore. We're having our swag bag sale, our annual swag bag sale. You can buy one of these swag bags for $40 and fill it all the way up with some older books that we have here in the back of the store. And then we also have a 10 by 10 tent. You can fit about 100 books this size in. And then consecutively, we'll be running our 3-2-1 sale, which is $3, $2, $1 on any of the more modern used books. So sleep less, read more, and please wash your hands.
Awesome. Thanks for watching. We'll see you guys next week.
Visit TampaBayGay.com for the latest, and please like, share, and subscribe.
these people aren't playing around. I don't think we should either. My last question for this is: do you think there's anything, again, with our lawmakers? Do you think there's anything that our lawmakers, can do to prevent mass shootings and even mass shootings against our community?
I don't think there's anything the government can do as far as, I mean, maybe it's just some laws here and there. Like, again, the concealed weapon thing. If you're going to carry protection and it's concealed, it shouldn't matter where you are. And of course, most laws are made for the law-abiding citizens, not for the freaking criminals. The criminals couldn't give two shits about the laws. So if I'm sitting out somewhere having dinner, enjoying myself, and I'm strapped, and some idiot comes in and decides he wants to act the fool, and I defend myself, I see nothing wrong with that. But you're telling me right off the bat, currently, you cannot take your firearm into a situation that is involved with alcohol to the point of you can't be at the bar, per se. I could be in a restaurant with a separate bar and actually have a drink with my concealed weapon, but I can't go anywhere near the bar with that weapon. Yet again, some idiot just walks in and decides, oh, let's take this place out. There needs to be some changes. And we cannot rely on just the government. And if you want to go flip side on it, I think, you know what? Let's be quiet. Let's everybody be quiet and create the underground and say, you know what? You take us out, we're going to come and take you out. Mercenaries, I have no problem with that. Boom. You want to attack this group? Guess what? This underground group comes back and takes you out. Now, you want to go tit for tat? Let's do it. Not a problem. So that's just my thing. If I'm going to defend myself, I should be able to defend myself wherever I'm at, with the up to and including taking your ass out. If you can take me out, I need to be able to take you out. And without that, it's unfair. I go to a club now and I'm like, where's the exit? How many entrances are here? If something goes down, can I get out quick? Am I jumping through a damn window? Now, if I'm strapped, I'm like, okay, you know what? I'm a little less worried to say, act the fool. Because guess what? It's coming out and it's going to stop you.
Angelique.
That's just my point.
I mean, as far as legislation goes, I think that we don't have to. I mean, the reality is we have to look at gun laws. I mean, there's no need for anyone to have an AR assault rifle for anything. I mean, the average size of an assault rifle bullet, and just for perspective, for people who don't know guns, is pretty much the size of this silver part of the pen. Give or take like a little bit of a centimeter or two. That's the size of the bullet. That bullet, in comparison to my hand, would be the size of my hand. That is what is shot out of an AR. So, the reality is that is not something that anybody needs the power of. You do not need that. If you're hunting for any reason, you do not need an assault rifle for it, because you should be doing one shots. You should be doing things that are not a spray. Something that is not gonna. These are meant for war. These are meant for fighting off other armies. Not meant for people to have in their personal collection for any reason. And if you were to say you wanted to sell them and you wanted people to buy them and have them as like a thing to put on the wall because you love something like that, I don't get mechanics, and I don't get people who love guns, but baby, they exist, right? So even if you need that, there needs to be a law where they can have that, but maybe not sell the bullets for it. Make it illegal to have the bullets and have it loaded. Or like you can only have it on your own property. If you have it inside your home, that's fine, but it can't be in your car. Because once again, even in a self-defense situation, you do not need an automatic assault rifle to handle a situation. If you need something that does all the work for you, then what you need is a fucking robot, not a gun. Like, I can't express any more than that like, you have to learn how to take art, in your craft. As somebody who has hunted before, somebody who's done archery, somebody who grew up in a family with a cop for a father, learning to use your weapon and learning when to use it and how to use it is super important. They teach you that shit in karate, for God's sakes. You do not need this type of weapon in the hands of the people. It's not a necessity. So take it off the market. That needs to be a thing. You can have your guns. I believe in the Second Amendment. I believe in having the right to bear arms. I believe in the right to defend yourself and your family and the land and the things that you work for. 100%. I do not believe that this particular weapon needs to be a part of it. Think about how many lives are saved in these situations if they had been shot by a regular bullet and the bullet just went through or whatever. The size of this bullet makes a difference because of how much it explodes on impact. And people need to understand that is the major reason why we're fighting for the gun changes in law, or the laws of gun reform, should we say.
Absolutely. I have two things. One, all the other Democratic, what we were just talking about earlier, when you have these hateful Republicans not only going out there and talking about our community, but also validating everybody else who thinks and feels that way. I want AOC, I want President Biden, I want the Vice President Harris to not only, when they're making speeches, they need to denounce this bullshit. They need to say something, speak up, okay? Because if if you're on the same level, you're just not saying anything. Silence is complicity. Okay, you're complicit into what's going on. So I'm sick and tired of these Democrats around here. Other than Michelle Rayner, she's great. Not speaking up when they're telling this bullshit. When you're at the debate, call that shit out. That's not a question. I know it wasn't a question, lady, but their misinformation is killing people and is putting people's lives in danger. And my other thing is, I agree with Angelique that we gotta look at
AOC's thing.
Oh, go ahead. Sorry.
No, I said I have to send you AOC's response to this so that you know that she is one. She's another good one. I love her.
Yeah, but see, she said that response after this happened. She said, she told Lauren Boebert, whatever you got to say, lady, it's you're actually doing this. But I'm talking about before all of this, and you're hearing this on television. She has. Okay.
Yes, previously she has. Yeah.
Thank you.
Yeah.
But even the president as well, there was no one's powerful than the president. Why isn't he saying anything, calling this bullshit out, and you're allowing it? That's not. It shouldn't be allowed in anyone's mouth. Mm-hmm. But also the gun laws. Looking at the gun laws, they're a little bit. They need to update gun laws because a lot of these people who commit these crimes, not like this guy, because he was arrested for something, but he wasn't convicted or prosecuted for threatening his mother. As far as that's what my research said.
His father or his grandfather or uncle is the state senator. Y'all didn't see that? He's literally in the House seats. So he literally controls the lawmaking for his city and his town in Denver. He literally is that person, or in Colorado.
He should know better.
Sits on the Republican Party seat.
Well, I mean,
he's getting away with shit because
it's the Republican Party. Nepotism. But literally. That's why he got away with that. But see, that's the problem with the laws that we're putting in. We're going to talk about, I looked at the Biden law they just put. They were talking about if you were convicted of domestic abuse, interpartner violence, anything like that, you are not allowed to own a gun. But what about these people that shoot up places that don't have any charges? A lot of the times that I'm seeing, they don't have any charges, or they weren't arrested like this gentleman here. How are we going to protect people like that? That's what we need to start looking at. And we ran out of time. Thank you guys so much for taking a listen and taking a watch. This is Comic Courtesy TV. I want to take a moment to thank our sponsors. First, we're going to thank Tampa Bay Gay. Thank you so much. Also, as well, we're going to thank our other sponsor, PJ Solace at Bulge Apparel and Gifts, baby. Yeah.
2 snaps up in a bowl.
PJ, yes.
Love them. All right, guys. Thank you so much. And as I always like to say, try to have a little bit more common courtesy. We'll see you next time. Follow our podcast page, Common Courtesy TV, here on Facebook and YouTube for more conversations on love, sex, relationships, and commentary on the latest trending news. And listen to us on multiple podcast platforms via commoncourtesytv.buzzsprout.com.